I think it's pretty clear at this point that celebrities and journalists are in an adversarial relationship. I am sure you have seen by now the viral clips of Sydney Sweeney's interview with GQ and her giving the resting bitch face to the journalist who is trying to bait her into a soundbite. However, I did just come across, I would say, the director's cut of that interview that has more of the context for us. And you can see, despite appearances, the journalist is definitely pushing it further and further. She basically asks Sydney Sweeney the same question 10 different times in 10 different phrasings so that she can get the answer she's looking for. And I noticed some very familiar female journalist tactics here. This is actually really interesting. It's like a Nat Geo documentary on female interactions, because Sydney Sweeney in this clip is giving a look like, I know that you know that I know that you know that we're enemies.
Yeah.
But on the surface, maybe a lot of men wouldn't pick up on this. It seems like a totally polite, pleasant interaction.
No, okay, so before we even get into it, this is something that you talked about when the journalist was here to do the report on Timcast, which is that they have this way of talking to you where you're like, I know you're about to screw me.
Right, exactly.
Like, I know that your job
Yes.
is to reframe, take what I say, maybe not out of context, but layer it in writing that's supposed to make me look bad. And there's this, I don't even want to call it faux politeness. I think that it's actual politeness that's just, because to say it's faux would mean that it's not real. Mm-hmm. The politeness is real, but it's a faux safe energy.
Right, exactly. They put on this affect to appear unassuming.
It's supposed to be disarming.
Yes, exactly. And with the Washington Post piece about Tim,
and that lady was pretty fair. Like
she was fair.
That lady was very fair.
I was very honest with her, saying, "You're perfectly nice. You're a pleasant person. Like, I have no reason to like trash you. You know, like." You're being polite to us. However, you should understand at this point that we don't trust you.
Yeah.
And we're never going to.
That ended up in the article.
We have a, yeah, it did, for a reason. We have a 20 from Pop Culture Junkie. By the way, Brett, I'm like not able to hear.
It's because I'm gonna have to turn this up.
Yeah. Let's watch this GQ interview. Okay. Not in the full interview, but this is a longer clip than we've seen for a few days.
Okay, here we go.
I'm literally in jeans and a t-shirt like every day of my life.
Jeans are uncontroversial. Jeans are awesome.
Yeah, I like your jeans.
You look great in your jeans. I think I know how you're going to answer this, but I'm going to ask anyway. I mean, the president tweeted about the jeans ad, or Truth Socialed about the jeans ad, and that just seems to me like a very crazy moment for anyone, and I wondered what that was like.
It was surreal.
It was surreal.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be totally human. I would probably feel like thankful that somebody had my back in public, you know, and conveniently some very powerful people had my back in public. And I wondered if you felt that way.
I don't think that, it's not that that feeling I didn't have that feeling, but I wasn't thinking of it like that, or like of any of it. I kind of just put my phone away. I was filming every day. I'm filming Euphoria, so I'm working like 16-hour days, and I don't really bring my phone on set, so I work and then I go home and I go to sleep. So I didn't really see a lot of it.
You've made a really good case for keeping your thoughts and your life separate from that work. But the risk is that, you know, there's a chance that somebody will get some idea about what you think about certain issues and feel like, I don't want to see Christy because of that. Like, do you worry about that?
Like, come on.
No.
The criticism of the content, which was basically that maybe specifically in this political climate, like, white people shouldn't joke about genetic superiority. Like, that was kind of like the criticism, broadly speaking. And since you are talking about this,
She never did that, by the way. That's a fabrication. She didn't at all say that.
just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about that specifically.
I think that when I have an issue that I want to speak about, people will hear.
So, oh, I can barely hear myself. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, she asked the same question 10 different ways, all with the same goal of making Sydney Sweeney look bad. And Sydney Sweeney responded in a similarly expert fashion to the way we saw Keira Knightley respond in an interview where J.K. Rowling was brought up by a journalist. Yeah. She was being baited into disavowing J.K. Rowling's views on transgenderism. And she basically gave the same facial expression in response, which was like, really, bitch? Like, and Keira Knightley took a more school marmy affect in response.
I posted this yesterday.
Sydney Sweeney, but Sydney Sweeney's look was more like, come on now. Like, you know that I know that you know that I know that you're trying to put me in a negative light right now.
Yeah.
And you can't exactly call someone out in the moment because that just makes you sound crazy.
Yeah.
So her response was the next best thing to just outwardly calling it out, which is, you know, I'm not worried about it.
This is now the universal face if you want to just degrade the person who's trying to degrade you. Your question is not worth answer. You're a child and you're trying to trap me. I disavow you and I reject any semblance of authority you have over me.
Yeah. And it does make you wonder if Sydney Sweeney is not going to play ball with the media the way that they would prefer, the treatment that they usually get from celebrities, which is celebrities are so emotionally immature that they actually think interviewers are interested in them as people. And they love the opportunity to soapbox.
Yes.
If Sydney Sweeney is not willing to play that game with journalists, why does she engage with them at all? In fact, maybe she should just pivot to talking to alternative media outlets and go on Pop Culture Crisis. Not really, but relatively. Like, she could actually engage with alternative media who are not going to put her in these positions.
I don't think that that's actually a good idea. I think that her power comes from her ability to fight the way she's framed by traditional media. It's one like if she goes on Tucker Carlson, she's just another person
I don't
who's...
mean Tucker Carlson.
Okay, if she goes on... Okay, give me an example of like when you're talking...
I mean, Rogan is definitely mainstream.
She could do that. I mean, that's... I still think of him as still mainstream enough. Like,
yeah, he is.
Yeah.
I mean, like Miley Cyrus went on the Joe Rogan Experience. Like, that's pretty mainstream. We have a 20 from Pop Culture Junkie. Some very smart PR person has given Sweeney great how to deal with bear poking training. I doubt that it has anything to do with instruction from PR, actually, because PR professionals in Hollywood actually don't encourage you to respond the way that she did.
Yeah.
They would encourage you to apologize, to offer some sort of explanation. They would not encourage Sydney Sweeney to respond the way that she did. So I think that she's actually responding this way by learning from the bad examples of other stars.
I really do believe that her power comes from her ability to reframe the way she is perceived by the people that people in new media see her opposition. So the way that new media sees old media, it's Sydney Sweeney's ability to reframe her relationship with old media, because old media frames her as somebody who's powerful to the people on the right or people who like new media. So again, if she starts going on, you know, right-wing podcasts, she's just another person who's talking on right-wing podcasts.
Well, I don't mean right-wing. I just mean alternative. Like
Logan,
for instance,
like go on like Logan
Timothy
Paul.
Chalamet went on Theo Von's podcast.
Yeah.
That's alternative media, and it's not considered politically charged.
I mean, there's only so many of those, and she needs to do more than that. Like, the reason she's doing this here, from this appearance is because she's promoting Christie. Right now, like, she needs to go on mainstream press because I'm guessing that the movie companies are making her go on mainstream press, and you know,
the assertion that there's any sizable portion of the population that is going to boycott Christie over...
I know. I laughed at that part.
Sydney Sweeney's...
Big super chat there from Rural Conservative.
Harvest 2025 is in the books. I have not gotten the damaged combine back yet, but it is ready. Here is a crisis party to celebrate. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, the idea that anyone was gonna boycott her movie over the American Eagle campaign is so far-fetched. It does not justify a response, which is why she didn't give one.
The jeans sold unbelievably well. The stock price did unbelievably well. She made them a lot of money. Their social media engagement gained hundreds of thousands of followers. When was the last time anybody actually thought about American Eagle before American Eagle jeans? Unless you're like going by the mall and you see some guy wearing an American Eagle shirt and you're like, huh, there's still people who wear that.
It's usually the guy who works at the kiosk.
Yeah.
That's how uncool American Eagle became.
That's what I'm saying.
And let's parallel this with...
And then they brought Travis Kelce in after that.
Right, exactly. And I guess that got way less attention.
Way less attention.
As a result. But let's parallel this with the example of Jennifer Lawrence. She has been praised for similar reasons this week. She was in an interview with the New York Times where she was asked about her propensity to share her political views during the first Trump administration compared to now in the second. And she basically said, I am not going to be as forward about my political views anymore because it doesn't shift the needle and it doesn't benefit anybody. And I don't want to tear this country apart with divisive statements. Now, in a separate interview, Jennifer Lawrence was asked about intimacy coordinators on the set of Die My Love with Robert Pattinson. We covered this yesterday, I believe. She was on this podcast called Las Culturistas with Bowen Yang. And the tone of the conversations that take place on that podcast is usually much more lighthearted. So people can say sarcastic comments on that podcast that then get cherry-picked and are assumed to be totally said in earnest.
That's what the internet is now. The internet is people saying stuff sarcastically, and then like one of the things you have to do away with here is the idea that you're going to be able to have everything taken in the proper context all the time, because we could make any number of jokes and somebody could cut it out of context, not even show the clip, but just do a transcript and be like, they said this thing.
Well, Jennifer Lawrence said, perhaps jokingly, that they did not have an intimacy coordinator on set. Yeah. Or she said, more accurately, we didn't really need an intimacy coordinator. There was one, but that person might as well have not been there.
Now I'm wondering if maybe she said that whole thing about being the first female action hero and as a joke.
I don't know. I mean, it seemed like she said it out of context. But in this video from a different interview with Robert Pattinson, she actually is talking about how they did have an intimacy coordinator. Okay. And then they were singing the praises of the intimacy coordinator and saying that it was necessary. So let's play this.
She had us do like dance lessons before we started shooting, which was so humiliating and embarrassing for both of us.
You can't get more embarrassed.
Like, you can't get more embarrassed. And she's like, and move like molasses. Like, move like you're in jet. Like, it was so embarrassing. And that helped a lot. And then on our first day of shooting, we were naked and attacking each other like tigers.
You think you can't get more embarrassed, and then they're like, now do it naked.
Now do it naked.
Yeah, that's what she told me. She decided to do the naked scene on the first day.
It's kind of a good idea, actually.
It is.
Because, like, you know, if we didn't like each other, then it becomes increasingly more awkward.
Yeah.
Taking direction as well when you're naked as well. It's genuinely quite funny.
Well, because eventually you get used to it, and you're just like talking, getting notes, having a snack, naked.
Did you get the help of an intimacy coordinator for those scenes?
I think we did have an intimacy coordinator. Yeah, I felt safe the whole time. Rob was very appropriate.
A very unthreatening guy.
Yeah, I felt super safe.
It's like when you
almost
got a guy
too safe.
pretending to be a cat.
Yeah. I was like, I'm okay. She can go.
And does that help to have someone, an intimacy coordinator, to talk to, or?
Yeah, I think it can be very helpful.
It's not just for the kind of to feel secure sometimes, just the actual technicalities of someone saying. Because I think directors sometimes are a little bit scared to say like your body looks weird in this angle, and if you have someone else who's specific job.
So there they were praising the intimacy coordinator's role on set, whereas before it was framed by the media as Jennifer Lawrence is like mocking the idea that they even had one. So Variety posted that prior quote without context in order to manipulate the audience.
This comment says, I don't get the joke. What's funny about pretending you didn't have an intimacy coordinator or pretending you're not sure if there was one there? How is that funny?
Well, these misunderstandings are propagated by the media, highlighting even more so that there is an adversarial relationship between celebrities and the media. Sydney Sweeney
There was literally,
is clued
like-
into that, and that makes her an exception.
The most
in her
impressive
industry.
thing about that interview is how they did it in a monsoon.
Yeah, they did.
Like literally, there was just a torrential, just some storm a brewing in the background.
We have a 20 from Jose Quintana. Happy Sweeney Friday. I took one for the team, Brett. I saw Predator Badlands yesterday. It humanized the Predator a bit. Elle Fanning was full of humor. A nice brainless time. Ghost Empress, love the coffee. Long live PCC.
Yeah, so the funny thing about that movie is it was pitched in the poorest way I could possibly imagine for traditional fans of the franchise who want the alpha male 5 jacked dudes in the jungle fighting a predator, which is what most people want when they watch a Predator movie. But when I saw the pitch for the movie, now I don't really care about the empathetic part or empathizing with the predator, but like a Predator buddy cop, like buddy comedy or buddy action movie, I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I'll probably like it, and then everyone's gonna hate me. They're gonna be like, rah, 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 rah. Like it actually sounded good to me, and I'm still considering whether I want to take the time this weekend to go see it. What's the runtime on it? I would be interested to know. But I like Elle Fanning, and I think the concept of the movie sounds good. Now the bad thing was there was an interview with Dan Trachtenberg in the lead up to this movie where he says the original pitch was the Predator fighting Nazis in World War II. Bro, there have been so many wars. Why is the only war you people know about World War II? Am I wrong?
Public school is the reason.
No, it's got nothing to do with that. It's got everything to do with Nazis. It's like,
No, I mean, that's the reason why people have such a narrow view of
no, it's because
history.
they don't know. The
because of
point
their
is they want to
education.
talk about Nazis. They want to make a movie about. They don't care which war it is. If it was World War I and it was not, and the Nazis were World War I, they would have made it about World War I. They just want to talk about Nazis.
I think we're making the same point.
Ugh, these people.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.